Hello, everybody, and welcome. This is the Apostate Prostate. How is everybody doing? I hope everybody's having a fantastic day. What are you laughing about, man? We're trying to start a serious show here, and immediately, as soon as we
Worst attempt
go
at
live,
a
you're like,
serious show ever.
good morning, everybody, and good evening, and good afternoon, and good night, and wherever you are, and whatever time it is, and however it looks for you on Mars or Earth or Australia. So today we are going to talk about a variety. To be very honest, I have been getting gradually sick, and I'm
You're
not entirely sure.
sick.
I'm not entirely sure.
You're sick. You're sick.
I'm not entirely sure if it's a disease, if I'm coming down with the sickness, or if it's some allergy thing or some reaction to something. I don't know.
All right, wait
So,
a minute. Like 5 years ago, Ali Dawa and all his fans prayed specifically for us to get diseases. Here we are 5 years later, and you're feeling a bit under the weather. Coincidence or curse of Allah?
curse of Allah, the Almighty Allah. So yes, today we want to talk about that. Not that. I was just explaining what actually happened. I didn't even say what we're talking about. So yes. So I felt like I don't really have the energy to go after a certain topic. So my initial thought was we're just going to take some questions. However, there are a few things to talk about. And one of those things is actually something that I mentioned to Mr. David Wood, my co-host here, whom you might know from other live streams before we started. And he said, hey, that's a good idea. And that was the fact that an organization that is not necessarily very popular, which is the ADL, writing an article about Daniel Kikachu.
Nice. I am not familiar with this article.
Yeah.
Daniel Hakikachu, what you need to know. Is there a date on this?
Published 3/28/2024, so 2 days ago.
Nice.
They published it 2 days ago. Of course, it came as a result of people reposting his stuff. Him sharing a bunch of really messed up conspiracy theories and making very, very terrible accusations, calling people all kinds of things, calling people who were killed by Hamas rave prostitutes and so on. And so they wrote an article about him, which they summarize here as Daniel Kikachu is an anti-Semite and conspiracy theorist who also spreads anti-LGBTQ plus and misogynistic rhetoric. He is the founder, editor-in-chief, and contributor at the Muslim Skeptic, an online magazine that frequently elevates anti-Semitic tropes and anti-Semitic conspiracy theories under the guise of legitimate criticism of Israel or Jewish law. So, and they listed quite a few things here and took some screenshots like this one, for example, where he's romantically depicting Hamas descending into Israel on October 7, and he puts hearts with a flag that is supposed to represent the imaginary nation of Palestine. So I think it's worth looking into, isn't it?
I like it. I like it.
You love it, don't you?
Yeah, that's kind of it's kind of one of the ongoing things that can happen to people. Matter of fact, it's something to happen to Andrew Tate. If you're kind of under if you're under most people's radar and you're doing all sorts of horrible things, and then all of a sudden you get people's attention, then you've got like years of horrible things you've done for people to go back and find and draw attention. That's what happened to Tate, right? He's running his mouth. Most people and organizations and so on don't care about him. It's a bunch of, young kids young boys who are paying attention to him. But he's saying all this stuff. Oh, that's why I traffic girls and blah, blah, blah, blah. He's doing this for years. And all of a sudden he gets media attention and people start writing articles on him. And then, oh no, I never did that. I never did that stuff. Oh no. Because then it gets really embarrassing once people pull all this stuff out. But it's the same with Daniel Hakikachu. We're paying attention to Daniel Hakikachu. But most people around the world are not paying attention to Daniel Hakikachu.
Now, who in the world is Daniel?
If all of a sudden he starts getting the attention of various organizations and so on, then this happens. Pretty funny.
Who the hell, Daniel Geekichu? What kind of fella is that? Can't even say his name. So, yes, today we are going to let's go through this, right? Let's go through this. Let's not make it so dramatic. It's not like it is.
It is a metaphysical matter.
It's actually quite simple and straightforward. So, Daniel Pikachu is a Muslim apologist who recently experienced a genocide firsthand. And if you are asking which genocide I'm talking about, I will let you know right here. It was a genocide that has been felt very, very strongly, and it happened right here only 2 months ago. It was called the Israel-Hamas war. Who is responsible? Full debate. I am guilty of committing a genocide against Daniel Kikuchu in this debate. So if you want to see how he actually holds up with his ridiculous nonsense that he has been spreading lately in a debate, check it out. I would recommend it over and over and over again. But now, let's talk about this. Hakikichu has praised Hamas and its October 7, 2023 terror attack on Israel across his social media profiles and shared age-old anti-Semitic tropes about Jewish and Israeli influence over global politics, including the belief that Jews manipulate evangelical Christians into serving the Zionist cause. All these Christians, they're just, a bunch of naive, stupid guys that are like being manipulated by evil mastermind genius Jews.
They're being manipulated into not liking Hamas. Shame on them.
Isn't it amazing how it always has to be that thing?
The Jews are convincing evangelical Christians not to like Hamas terrorists.
Alhamdulillah. He has promoted 9/11 conspiracy theories, suggesting that Israel and the Mossad were behind the attacks. Yeah. I have seen that personally a lot. Him actually suggesting that and mentioning different things. It even came up during the debate. I don't know if he mentioned it or if I just quickly brought it up, but he made that suggestion that there were these dancing Israelis on 9/11 who were found to be Mossad agents perpetrating or participating in the 9/11 attacks, which is just such a ridiculously stupid conspiracy theory that has been debunked and exposed as a laughable joke, a hoax, a long time ago. But imagine still believing in such a conspiracy theory that the FBI actually caught some dancing Mossad agents who belong to such a smart, intelligent, mastermind, genius, evil organization, but who are so dumb that they are publicly dancing somewhere and celebrating the attack, and they're not getting caught by the FBI. And then the FBI sends them back without even doing anything about it, and this is their big conspiracy.
Powerful stuff.
It is so stupid. What it actually refers to is that a woman saw these not even dancing never came up in the actual report. A woman saw certain people on top of a van watching the towers and taking photos. And she said, I don't know, they seemed kind of unbothered and all that, and calls the police. The police goes after those people, suspecting all kinds of people on that day. It turns out that those guys were Israelis. However, they were some regular people who were here for work and who kind of overstayed their permits and all that. It has nothing at all to do with the attacks. But they're like, whoa, wait a minute, Israelis? Jews? And they were outside somewhere on 9/11. There it is. There it is. That's the answer. This is proof that Israel did it. And this is basically what he does as well. He actually spreads that conspiracy theory, this ridiculous hoax.
And isn't it funny that people like Hakikachu are the ones who accuse Jews of being the manipulators here? Like all he does is like spread complete complete idiotic nonsense, but he knows his followers are freaking morons. So you could tell them anything. You could tell them anything. You could take a video of Jews dancing at a bar mitzvah, and he could post it and say, look, this is Jews dancing because of all the women that the IDF raped, and blame Hamas, and all of his followers would just mindlessly agree with that.
I mean, he did claim during our debate that that there is probably a sex trafficking ring in New York ran by the Jews, because there were those reports about those tunnels, which he called Talmudic tunnels.
Talmudic tunnels.
And when I asked him about it, he said, "Oh, do you have proof that it is not true? Do you have proof that it's not the case?"
Yes. Do you have proof? Do you have proof that Daniel didn't marry 3 goats? Can you prove it? Can you prove that he didn't marry these goats? That's how it works.
Man. Proof. Let's see. Actually, let me bring that up just to see how ridiculous this guy's arguments are. Proofs. Let me see. Proof today.
Then open your mouth and prove it. Congrats on.
No, I'm just looking for the word proof here. Couldn't find it. Anyway, tunnels. Let's look for tunnels here. Let me look for tunnels. I'm doing this right here. Anybody at the festival, there is no single evidence, no single witness saying anything like that. This is just like when you say that the tunnels in New York City were actually child sacrifice, sex trafficking tunnels.
I didn't say that. Where did I say that? Where did I say that?
Okay, maybe it's not child.
Okay.
Let's see. Where
did I say that?
Let's see what you said. Okay, let me bring this up. Let's see what you said. Your tweet about the tunnels is, now I know for sure that these Talmudic tunnels were for child trafficking. These are your words about the New York City tunnels, where
look at him smiling.
Students of the Haredi Jewish community against the authorities of their own religious school. What's there to smile about this?
Yeah, he has a kind of nervous grin when he knows he's being exposed, and that will if I just grin, this will fix things.
I still don't understand how he actually got into this.
It's every time. Oh, you can't prove that, and if you start proving that he's lying, if you catch him in something, he just instantly starts grinning.
Oh man,
weird.
Built a tunnel to expand their temple. You interpreted that together with the neo-Nazis as a child trafficking ring to abduct children and use and abuse them.
Do you have proof? Do you have proof that wasn't used for child trafficking?
Wow.
Look at his grin. What a clown, man. Guys, I'll just ask once again, why are these the guys who are becoming most popular in Dawa? It's all the guys who support child marriage, all the guys who are like obviously lying. Like anyone who's listening to these guys for 10 seconds would say, these guys are the biggest liars I've ever seen in my life. These are the guys who become popular in Dawa. We've moved past the age of Zakir Naik and Ahmed Deedat. Keep in mind, Zakir Naik and Ahmed Deedat, they were compulsive liars too. The new generation will lie straight to your face, knowing that it would take 2 seconds to expose them, knowing that even their fans can tell that some of this stuff is lies. They just don't care. They believe that it's perfectly acceptable. And their fans are totally fine with it. Their fans are just fine. Yeah, lie some more for us. This is what Islam is all about, guys. This is what we love. This is what we love. More, Daniel.
I was genuinely speechless. I don't know. I'm sure you can tell here, but I genuinely wouldn't expect that response from Daniel Kikachu. I mean, him just saying, "Do you have proof?" What in the world? You interpreted abduct children and used and abused them.
Do you have proof? Do you have proof that wasn't used for child
face? Look at his eyebrows. I wonder if his eyebrows are another tell.
His eyebrows are literally genocide.
Do you have proof? Do you have proof that I don't bang goats?
So, suggesting that Israel and the Mossad were behind the attacks, and also has implied that there is a link between the LGBTQ community and child molestation. I need to open all these links that they are posting here. Anti-have killed.
Yeah, what is that? What is that linking to? Is that linking to like his tweets or?
This one is just their blog post. This one is just some random article, which probably doesn't include anything from him. Nope. Okay. Just to clarify, I think later they will actually start presenting evidence from his tweets and things like that. Hakikachu has broad exposure on social media with more than 128,000 followers on X, 147,000 connections on Facebook, and more than 30,000 subscribers to his Telegram channel. He appears in multiple videos uploaded to the Muslim Skeptics video, YouTube, and to Rumble channels.
Yeah,
which
that's him.
combined.
They seem to think that those are someone else's channels, and he's just got videos on there.
No, I think they clarify that he is actually he's the founder,
It says
editor-in-chief, and contributor. at Muslim
Contributor to
Skeptics.
the Muslim Skeptic.
Okay,
He's the
okay.
Muslim Skeptic, and he just has people who join him, as far as I can tell.
387,000 subscribers. Hakikachu regularly engages in debates about religion with Muslim and non-Muslim figures and is occasionally invited to speak on campuses and in mosques in the US and around the world. Hakikachu describes himself as a defender of Muslims and Islam, but by manipulating scripture and out of context
He
quotes by
manipulates
religious
it.
figures, he vilifies other religions, particularly Judaism and Hinduism. Also the great religion of atheism, for example.
Mhm.
He also vilifies the atheist religion as well.
Shame on him. Leave those poor, dumb atheists alone, Daniel.
Yeah. Leave my religion out of your mouth.
Keep my religion out your mouth.
Further, he depicts Judaism as an adversary, asserting that no religion on earth is as hostile to Christianity and Islam as Judaism.
That's borderline a quotation from the Quran, Surah 5, verse 82. It is, I mean, it is funny that they actually quote this as a criticism of him when that is almost a direct quote from the Quran.
Alhamdulillah. In his own words, now here it begins. And so it begins in his own words. It says, reactions to the October 7 massacre in Israel. Hakikachu is a proud supporter of the 10/7 Al-Aqsa flood massacre. The day after October 7, Hakikachu praised the attack by posting a picture of a paraglider on his social media, referencing here, right here, referencing Hamas's use of paragliders to infiltrate Israel and attack civilians. He also used on his Telegram channel that he also posted on his Telegram channel that supporting the massacre was a matter of religious obligation. He did say that.
Good quotation there.
Saying a Muslim who condemns October 7 is a hypocrite and a traitor to Islam.
Ouch.
Now, I do remember several people who did condemn aspects of October 7, or who did condemn certain things that Hamas did. And I don't know if this is the full quote. Do they have a link to the tweet? Not entirely sure. But let me quickly look for that tweet, because pretty sure he said more to that. Let me see. Okay, here it is. Remember, the only people condemning October 7 are bloodthirsty Zionists. A Muslim who condemns October 7 is a hypocrite and a traitor to Islam. A non-Muslim who condemns October 7 does not believe Palestinians have a right to live and defend themselves against Israeli ethnic cleansing.
Yeah, we've often pointed out the like one of the characteristics, especially of Daniel Hakikachu, of Dawa in general, but of Daniel Hakikachu especially, everything is like complete, total black and white thinking. It's there is no kind of middle ground where you can say, hey, I want what's best for Palestinians, and of course that's going to involve getting rid of Hamas. But I also condemn October 7. You can't. You're either 100% on board with Israel, or you are 100% on board with anything that any Palestinian ever does, even if it's raping and torturing people. You cannot condemn any of it. If you do, it's because if you condemn raping and torturing if you condemn raping, torturing women, Israeli women, then you believe Palestinians don't have a right to live. Keep in mind, that's what he's saying right here. A non-Muslim who condemns October 7th does not believe Palestinians have a right to live and defend themselves against Israeli ethnic cleansing. So if you say raping and torturing women at a concert or whatever like that is bad, then you're saying that Palestinians do not have a right to live or defend themselves.
That's very, very cool. This is funny. I was just trying to go on his website to look for something and just noticed that his website isn't
Oh,
working.
wait. Does he know he's being investigated? No, come on.
I don't think.
That's got to be your crap computer. Hang on.
No. It's not me. I just tried it from.
It's your crap computer.
Does it work for you?
I don't know. Let me see.
Huh. Wait a minute. It works on my phone. Okay. Well, that's weird. Let me see. Let me try again. I don't know. It doesn't work. I will figure this out later. So, anyway, yes, exactly. I agree with whatever you said. So, he argued that if one were to criticize Hamas for anything, it would be for an overly soft and forgiving attitude toward genocide perpetrators.
Yeah, I'm on MuslimSkeptic.com.
Look at this quote. Look at this quote. He argued that if one were to criticize Hamas for anything, it would be for an overly soft and forgiving attitude towards genocide perpetrators.
So if he were to criticize Hamas, it would not be for rape and torture and hammering nails into women's pelvic regions and so on, targeting civilians. It wouldn't be for any of that. It would be for being too soft. You guys are being too soft when you do this stuff. You should be way, way, way more brutal towards Jews. Well,
man. Which reminds me of this denial here.
Of course, actually,
It's
was
okay
that
for you
Hamas
to-
was taking this person to a hospital after she was injured by Israeli fire. That's the reports that have come.
according to Hamas propagandists. We
Well,
also have a video.
So
where,
we should have IDF propagandists instead.
No, we
to
actually have
listen
a video. This is from a video. This photo here. In fact, I asked him once again to clarify that.
From their operation, and then people are saying Allahu Akbar.
Why are they saying Allahu Akbar in response to that? Because they're
taking her to a hospital.
Yeah.
Allahu Akbar! We're going to save this woman! Ya Allahu Akbar!
Because they are happy that she's being taken to a hospital.
Yeah.
What, God, that's what I mean. Guys, this is what I mean. I've said it a million times. You Muslims who are the fans of these guys, you are programming them. You're the ones who are making them like this. You're the ones who are producing these kinds of guys. Anything they say, even when they're lying right to your faces, you cheer for them. You love it. And guess what? If you cheer for them when they lie, that simply encourages them to lie and lie and lie. And you get to the point where he could be saying something that's obviously completely ridiculous and insane to everyone except his followers. And he'll just keep doing it because that's what his group likes. His group likes lying.
And if you're going to argue that this is not true, then do you have proof that his group doesn't like lying? Do you have proof?
Prove it. Can you prove that everyone in his group doesn't molest goats? No,
Yeah,
you can't prove it.
We now have confirmed reports. Something else that I wanted to actually talk about as well. And we have one of the victims who were released after 50 days or so, one of the hostages, Amit Susana. She recently started speaking to the press and also spoke to the New York Times, Times of Israel, and many other sources. And in detail explained that she was sexually abused on the day of October 7, and also later on when she was being held in Gaza. And she spoke out now. However, in the UN report, which was published several weeks ago, it is confirmed they spoke with her, although the UN report didn't specifically name her, but they spoke with her, and it's also confirmed that after being released from the hostage situation, she spoke to multiple doctors and spoke then, as requested by the UN team, to specialists on the case in terms of psychology, sexual violence, and so on, and they all confirmed that it is credible, it is authentic. She has been consistent all along. She just kept it away from the public so far, and now decided to speak up. But there is an article by the New York Times, also shared on different platforms, where she describes in detail that on October 24, the Hamas guard named Mohammed, big shocker, sexually abused her and used her for some action which the New York Times decided not to entirely describe. But she also says that during the entire time, for weeks, he had says, then he, with the gun pointed at me, forced me to commit a sexual act on him. But also repeatedly and constantly, groped her and all that. But this is just one of many victims. We now have the UN report, which says that there were multiple instances of sexual assault, of rape, and some of them may still be ongoing with the hostages that are currently held in Gaza. And then we have, of course, videos of them directly shooting on site civilians, abusing them, burning them alive, torturing them, doing all kinds of messed up things. But according to Daniel Haqiqatjou, if he were to criticize Hamas for anything, it would be for being overly soft and forgiving toward Israelis.
Yeah, can you imagine that? And it's just weird because we know what happened, and he's saying they're actually being too soft. But anything you point out that they did, he tries to explain it in terms, oh, just trying to take her to a hospital. Oh, hey, Daniel. What about this dude who raped this woman and then hammered all these nails into her pelvic area? Well, what had happened was he was trying to help her, and but he was running with a box of nails and a hammer to, build a shelter for the homeless. And he tripped and fell and accidentally hammered a bunch of nails into her pelvis. And then he tried to pick her up to take her to the hospital, but he slipped and fell and his penis went right in her.
And then she started bleeding.
Prove to me that didn't happen. Prove to me I'm a Muslim skeptic. And what he means of skeptic is anytime he lies and you refute him, he's going to be skeptical of your information.
And she started bleeding, and he didn't know how to treat her. So he decided, since he has the nails with him anyway, he thought maybe this will stop the bleeding and all that. That's probably, it sounds ridiculous, but this is something that he could probably say at this point.
That's our Daniel.
So then they have a screenshot of this here on Facebook. In his effort to legitimize the October 7 attacks and to promote vile conspiracy theories, Haqiqatjou denied rape accusations made by Israeli victims. He also denied that the Nova Music Festival massacre ever took place. On his X account, Haqiqatjou asserted that these two claims are a hoax perpetrated by the U.S.-Israeli empire.
By the way, can you imagine this? We've been to the site of the Nova massacre. Mm-hmm. We've talked to people who were there. Mm-hmm. We've been to the site. We've seen all the memorials. According to him, it's all just made up. It's all just made up stuff. It's all just propaganda. All the people who are saying, like the survivors, the people who made it out of there, they ran and hid. They're all lying. It's just a massive conspiracy. But here's the thing. I mean, when you take it to that level, when you take your conspiracies to that level, I mean, why am I going to believe that Israel's even bombing Palestine? Why? Why am I going to believe that? Because a bunch of people are saying it. Maybe that's all a big hoax. Maybe it's just a big hoax. Maybe everyone's lying about it. Anything that any Palestinians say happened in Gaza, could that? And what's crazy is we know these guys. We know these guys. They call it, what do they call it? Pallywood or something like that. We know these guys like fabricate stuff and makes and stage stuff and so on. So we actually know that that happens. But if we were to dial things up the way he's doing it, we would not believe anything that ever happened there. And matter of fact, what you could say, what we could say, if we actually were going, if we went in the Daniel Haqiqatjou route, we'd say, you know, what happened was Israel was dropping bombs to sort of clear the ground for building new hospitals because they're just trying to help. And then Hamas killed a bunch of people themselves and staged it and made it look like those bombs were actually killing people when they were the ones killing people. Like that's how insane Daniel sounds when he's saying these things, where everything is a conspiracy.
Yes, very, very much.
Muslim skeptic. He's like complete conspiracy, but I'm a skeptic. It's just weird because someone who has believed that would be like, by definition, one of the least skeptical people on the planet. If you're spouting insane conspiracy theories that can be completely refuted, you're not a skeptic. You could call yourself a selective skeptic, meaning I'm skeptical of anything that goes against anything I want to believe. But that's not what a skeptic is.
I mean, yeah, this is the same guy who says, isn't it hilarious that the number one thing the Tradcons are citing to justify their diehard support for Israel genociding Palestine is one 5-second clip of some rave prostitute? He's describing this woman who was not being taken to a hospital. She was being paraded on the back of a pickup truck by Hamas terrorists, animals, while the animals who are supposed to be civilians surrounding this event were cheering, and some of them were spitting on her and beating. And it can also be seen in the video that she has a hole here in her head. She was shot in the head. To him, this is just a 5-second clip of some rave prostitute. This is Daniel Haqiqatjou. This is who we are talking about. U.S.-Israeli empire with the aim of promoting anti-Muslim hate. The U.S.-Israeli empire constantly produces hoaxes and lies to generate hatred against the Muslim world. For example, rape of Israeli ravers. In another instance, he posted a picture of Nova Festival attendees in hiding and wrote, "They really expect people to believe this." Yeah, David, we don't even have to rely on trusting Israelis. We saw much of it directly recorded by the terrorists themselves and live streamed, published, and so on. So they recorded themselves walking through civilian areas and shooting at random people. They recorded themselves shooting at people at the festival. They recorded. We have dash cam recordings of the terrorists shooting at the civilians, at the party goers, and so on. This is all documented. We don't have to bring it up and show it a million times. Maybe they're just trying to deny it because they want us to show it again and again because they masturbate to those videos. Like Daniel Haqiqatjou does, maybe, I don't know. But this is all right there. And if you're denying this, then you are simply a maggot. And that's all I can say at the moment. Haqiqatjou claims that Israel and its policy of apartheid and the genocide is legitimized by racist and violent teachings in the Jewish religion. Specifically, the Talmud. The Talmud is one of Judaism's most sacred texts. Anti-Semites frequently quote the text out of context to advance their anti-Semitic beliefs, pushing anti-Semitic conspiracy theories. Haqiqatjou promotes classic anti-Semitic tropes, which he disguises as criticism of the state of Israel and Zionism. Some of his posts claim that Israel and the Mossad are behind psychological warfare operations that are meant to serve the interests of Israel, including explicitly claiming that the Jewish financier and sex offender Jeffrey Epstein worked for Israeli Mossad to videotape powerful figures raping children to create blackmail material, ensuring those figures acted in accordance with Israeli interests. Stating that the Islamic State terror organization, was created by the Israeli intelligence to serve Israeli interests. I'm really curious how he would actually defend this and justify this if he was confronted on this. Maybe, Daniel, we should have another debate. Since the last one went so well, and you are even proud of it, maybe we should have a debate on whether ISIS was created by Israeli intelligence agencies or not, or whether Israeli intelligence is helping ISIS or not, or whether ISIS is an Israeli puppet or not. I know that he acts like there is a lot of evidence for that. There is no evidence. It's nonsense. He relies on hoaxes. I know that he acts like there's a lot of evidence to that, so I would like to ask him to have that debate with me so that he can show us the evidence, so that I can push him on that, and I can tell him to present the evidence and see how that works out. Since Daniel Haqiqatjou makes such strong claims, please, Daniel, let's do this. I did say before, actually, that I don't want to debate him again, that this was the last time, but since this is so nice, how about let's have another debate, Daniel? Let's have another one. We recently talked about some of the conspiracy theories around ISIS, didn't we?
I don't think he recovered from the first one, so
I don't know. He's pretty strong. Pretty strong.
He's resilient.
Look at this. Here's a tweet by him. He posts footage from a news report from 2015, which says one of ISIS's top commanders was a star pupil of U.S. Special Forces training in the country of Georgia.
You see?
And then he says,
U.S.
so many
Special
of
Forces.
ISIS top officials turn out to have a long and involved history with the CIA and U.S. military. If you asked him what the evidence for that is, he will probably not be able to present any. But just ignore that, as it's probably all a coincidence. His example that he shows here is one of somebody from the country of Georgia who is part of the military and who happens to be part of a training when U.S. Special Forces train the military personnel on the ground. And this guy is an achiever. By the way, later on, this guy gets fired by the army in Georgia, whereafter he then becomes an Islamist. But Daniel's evidence for ISIS being having a long history with the CIA and U.S. military is that some guy who was in the Special Forces in Georgia had later joined ISIS. This is so stupid. This is so incredibly ridiculous. If this said that this person was actually working in some high, if this was a general in the U.S. Army, or I don't know, some very high grade guy within the CIA, later he became an ISIS leader, that would be concerning. But we're talking about random personnel here. This is his evidence. Man.
Yeah. I mean, think about if the way he filters information, right? Because if you just read the headline and what he says about it, you think, oh, okay, you see, this is proof that they're sending in. This would be like taking the Fort Hood massacre, right, where Nidal Hasan killed a bunch of soldiers, and he was in the military. This would be like, ooh, isn't it a coincidence that this guy's he's part of the U.S. military when he does his terrorist attack? You see, this is because the military is making these terrorist attacks. Not because sometimes you have people who were in the military and either convert to Islam or they were Muslim and then they decide to become jihadis.
Mm-hmm.
His fans love it, though. His fans love it.
That's pretty stupid.
It's just weird when people love being lied to. It's weird when people love being lied to. It's weirder when people love being lied to, but simultaneously brag about being the people of the truth and the followers of the true religion.
Mm-hmm. Oh, he also recently made a tweet accusing Mossad of writing community notes on his tweets. Wait a minute. We went through this on your show, didn't we? So here he talked about how ISIS is controlled by Israel. Then there is a community note correcting him that this ISK, the ISIS branch in Khorasan, which took out the attack on Moscow, that this is not a new group and all that. And then he then responds to this and he says, they're desperately trying to community note my post, but it makes no sense. How does one stated goal of attacking apostate regimes in the Arab world explain them attacking two non-Arab Muslim countries, Iran, Afghanistan, and one Christian one? Try again, Mossad. Try again, Mossad.
Yeah, the only people. So he says, "Hey guys, why would ISIS be going after Iran, Shia country, and Afghanistan, which they regard as an apostate Muslim country, and Russia, a majority Christian country with that has been wreaking havoc on ISIS for many years? Why would they go after all these different targets that they hate for completely different reasons? Why would they do that? It makes no sense." And then it gets pointed out, actually, it makes perfect sense. Oh, this must be the Jews. The Jews are community noting me to point out the stupidity of my.
This is what Mossad does. I went to the Mossad headquarters and I went into their operations room, and they have a team that is called the Community Notes team. Whenever they see Daniel Kikuchu tweet, the manager goes, "Community Note team. Daniel Kikuchu just made a new post. Correct it now."
Well, I mean, they give more information than that. They go, "Gosh, guys, Daniel Kikuchu has figured it out. The case cracker." I mean, he pointed out that ISIS can't hate three separate groups. ISIS, which says everyone in the entire world, whether Muslim or non-Muslim, has to submit to them and their leadership as the caliphate. Daniel has figured it out that it's impossible for that group to hate multiple different kinds of groups. It's impossible. He's figured it out. So what do we need to do? Community Note Squad. Let's note that thing.
Man.
The Muslim skeptic, ladies and gentlemen, he's very skeptical.
Suggesting multiple times that Israel was behind the 9/11 attacks. Yeah, he posted this on his Telegram channel. We need to talk about Israel. Yeah. Of course, the evidence here is, it makes sense. If you think about it, it makes sense. That's the evidence.
It makes sense.
The Kikuchu highlights.
Yes, the United States keeps defending Israel, so Israel's going to try and kill them.
Yeah, it makes sense if you think about it. That's why it makes so much sense. It makes so much sense.
And guess what? They were cheering. This is the proof.
The Hakikecho highlights individual cases of Jewish rabbis engaged in child molestation to allege that this phenomenon is intrinsic to Judaism. He argues that Jewish perpetrators get away with these actions because of their alleged influence. For example, in January 2024, in reaction to the anti-Semitic conspiracies circulating about the passageways located under the Chabad headquarters in Brooklyn, New York, he posted, "This is what some NYC Jews are doing in full view and approval of city officials," referring to the performance of the controversial Metzitza ritual. "I wonder what they were doing that had to be hidden in secret tunnels." Yeah, and we also I have tweets of him repeating that kind of stuff, basically saying that they are running a child trafficking thing down there, that this is what Jews do. This is what they do.
It's what they do.
It's what they do.
It's what they do.
They don't urinate upon one another.
Urinating upon one another. That's what they do.
What they do.
Let's see. Man, do I have some stupid community notes here? They celebrated 9/11 with their foreign agents in New York, recording the events with cameras and dancing in joy while they occurred. Google dancing Israelis. Yes, indeed, Google it, and then look at the credible sources that you find there. But you can also go to some really stupid sources and just ignore the ones that have higher credibility, and then come to the same stupid conclusions that Daniel Kikachu comes to. And then he posted this meme. Oh no, he retweeted this meme. Mexican cartels using tunnels to smuggle dope. NY Jews using tunnels to smuggle kids. Of course it is about Jews. Not Zionism. It's about Jews.
Mm-hmm.
Misogynist rhetoric. Kikachu vehemently opposes feminism, which he blames for convincing women to beautify themselves for strange men. That just sounds so Islamic.
Strange men. Speaking of strange men, Daniel Kikachu.
An act that, in his view, causes literal pain for their husbands, fathers, sons, and other male family members.
Causes literal pain.
Oh my God.
You see, women beautify themselves. It causes you literal pain.
This is called projection, Daniel. This is called projection. Or this is just, to you, you have an extremely possessive attitude as Islam commands. You are supposed to have protective jealousy, as they translate it, ghaira. And if you fear for arrogance or disobedience from your wife, you're supposed to discipline her and put her in her place. And of course, the justice system goes so far that Muhammad, in one case, where there is a hadith where someone says, if I caught my wife basically going and having sex with some other guy, I would right there and then kill both of them. And people are surprised. And Muhammad says, well, this is good. You know, that's good. That's good. Basically. So he doesn't say, no. We don't do that.
The word isn't basically, it's based. I know you're foreign. I know you're foreign, but it's pronounced based.
Based. Fine.
Base, not basic.
Fine. He doesn't say, no, guys, you know what, guys? We don't take matters into our own hands. We're not savages anymore. We establish the facts. We create courts. We hear all sides. And then we come to a judgment. We can't just allow anyone to go around and make claims and then kill their wives for supposedly, cheating and all that. This is not what we do. No, he says, you think that's strange? No, it's totally understandable. But Daniel Kikachu, not only that, he thinks that if a woman puts makeup on, for example, this is literally pain. When women try to attract attention from strange men by beautifying themselves, it causes literal pain for their husbands, fathers, sons, and other male family. This is why no society prior to feminism gave women the right to cause this pain. Wait, what? What are you talking about? Only prostitutes were on display for all. I'm talking about normal men, not the mentally dysfunctional simps that are so prevalent in feminist societies. He actually just said here, I didn't see that before, this is why no society prior to feminism gave women the right to cause this pain.
Women can't have the right to cause pain to men. But notice, isn't it funny, Daniel Kikachu talking about normal men? This is a guy who thinks it's okay to bang an 11-month-old baby as long as you get parental consent. As long as you get the consent of the parent to bang an 11-month-old baby, a normal man is going to bang that little baby.
Yeah. That's what normal men do.
And if you don't support that, then you're mentally dysfunctional.
Yeah.
Because of feminism and liberalism.
Off the top of my head, but even the claim here, this is why no society prior to feminism gave women the right to cause this pain. I'm pretty sure that's just completely wrong, and I can think of several examples.
Prove that it's wrong.
Such as, I mean, we have prominent depictions of Egypt that are very much based on historical records and observations. What exactly does he mean when he says, what were women not allowed in these societies? Beautify themselves?
No
Or
lipstick.
beautify themselves to attract attention from other men? What exactly? This makes no sense. You can't, of course, you can make this argument. You can say no society in the past made it explicitly permissible or explicitly allowed women to go and beautify themselves in order to attract attention from other unrelated men. Yeah, probably no society explicitly said that. But in ancient Egypt, in ancient China,
You don't need to go that far back. Just think of like before the rise of feminism, right? Feminism's a pretty recent thing, but you just go back a couple hundred years. Go back a couple hundred years in Europe. What kind of, I mean, you think French women weren't wearing nice dresses and so on?
no,
No,
they weren't allowed.
Wasn't happening.
No, they weren't allowed. They weren't allowed to cause pain.
Because they were all prostitutes.
Well, I don't count those societies because they were prostitutes. All of them.
See, the women
Collectively.
wore those. The women wore those. That's why so many of them were sent to the guillotine.
This is so stupid. It's just, man.
Definitely a real winner here. Definitely a real winner.
I feel like I'm not really. I don't know. Maybe it's because of medicine that I took, but I'm kind of drowsy. Not the sharpest. I think if I was in a better state, I would probably go into dissecting this part further. On his Telegram channel, he describes the modern woman as stupid and unaware of the putative societal rules that define her attractiveness, arguing that a woman's attractiveness decreases with age, decreases with the number of sexual partners she's had. Decreases if she... How does it even work? Decreases if she has children from previous relationships. Does not increase the more degrees she has or the higher her job title. Man. I don't even get it. How does a woman's attractiveness decrease?
He's talking about her attractiveness as like a wife or something, right? Not her physical hotness. You could bang 1,000 guys, you'd still be physically hot. He's saying, well, she's not going to be attractive.
That's very relative. It's very relative and very vague. That's ridiculous. The decreases if she has children from previous relationships, does not increase the more degrees she has or the higher her job title. Actually, it does. Pretty sure.
Yeah, it's gonna a lot of this stuff is going to depend on particular definitions of what he means, right? I mean, Cardi B was a stripper. She was a stripper. Plenty of guys would find Cardi B attractive. So the question is what he means. He would have to mean something as like a woman that a good, wholesome, traditional man is going to want to marry, or something like that. Because you can't just be saying not hot or something.
Anti-LGBTQ hate.
Whoa! Did they mess around?
Why did they do that?
I thought why'd they mess up with the letters, man? Is that an attack on the LGBTQ community?
Wait a minute, they did this earlier.
Are they arranging the LGBT? See, there they got it right. LGBTQ plus.
LGBTQ plus. And then
down here, ooh, you see? Daniel, here's your conspiracy.
Ooh.
They're the ones spreading anti-LGBTQ hate by rearranging the letters.
Okay, but it doesn't even make sense because the B is just for bisexual, whereas the G is for gay. Like, what? Changing those doesn't really mean much. I mean, I would understand if they cut out the T here, for example, and then you could accuse them of promoting hate against the LGBTQ community or something. This is so stupid. I don't know if he actually ever thinks about the things that he types here, if he actually thinks them through. I mean, let's be honest, right? There are so many actresses that you can probably think of that are very much advanced in age, that are considered generally extremely attractive. Now, I'm not sure if I can actually ask Daniel this question, because I'm not sure if Daniel is actually really attracted to women.
No, look, hey, Daniel, be like, no, I get it. There are lots of very attractive women on TV and in videos, like that little baby in the Gerber commercial. That little baby in the Gerber commercial, smoking hot, making me really want that parental consent. So I agree, but yeah.
But yeah, there's that aspect. I was thinking more about the fact that he sounds a little bit like he has very gay tendencies, which is why he's so much concerned about the whole spreading gay thing, because he seems to have this understanding that oh no, if you put something gay on the screen, then everyone will become gay. And so when somebody has these concerns so much, it makes me think, hey, it doesn't happen to me, but if that happens to you very easily, and if you are actually afraid of that, it sounds like it's a you. It sounds like you have a problem. It sounds like you have these tendencies, and you are interested in gay relationships and all that. And you should probably understand that not everybody functions that way. So there is that aspect too. I think that he might have these very gay tendencies, and he might not be attracted to women, except when it comes to little children, because little children, it's like it's harder to identify if they're men or women, because when they're little children, it's just still undefined. So he can go for them, and then he can also be attracted to the gay men, but he is not very much attracted to women. So that makes a lot of sense, and that also makes now sense with this here in mind.
Well, we could get the Muslim cowboy on here. Mm-hmm. He says, according to the Muslim cowboy, it doesn't matter if she's 5, as long as you want to bang her, then she's a woman. So following that reasoning, it shouldn't matter if it's a little boy either, right? Muslim cowboy, as long as if I want to bang it, I'm just going to call it a grown woman.
Yeah.
What the heck is wrong with these guys, man? This is becoming dominant. This is becoming dominant in Dawa.
Anti-LGBTQ hate. Hikikechu draws a direct line between homosexuality and pedophilia. Posting this: why does every gay male couple adopt boys? Wait a minute. I think this is a direct screenshot from 4chan. This looks like 4chan, isn't it? I'm pretty sure he took that directly from there. I'm not sure if he did. It's not the first time that I see him directly take stuff from 4chan, which he likes to go on all the time to get new stuff to say to us. He also once actually presented evidence, research evidence, and posted a screenshot from 4chan as his evidence, as his research. So there is that aspect too. I don't know if I can look at this. I'll find this out later. But yeah, this might be the case. But he is making again an assertion that's probably complete nonsense. Wages a campaign on social media against LGBTQ community, which he often refers to as Qawm Lut, translates from Arabic to people of Lot, a derogatory term that originates from the story of people of Sodom and Gomorrah, who, according to some interpretations of religious scripture, engaged in homosexual acts. On his social media accounts, Hikikechu has spoken out against individuals he calls the pro-LGBT degenerates, who he believes are working against Islam. According to Hikikechu, the trans agenda being promoted by companies such as Starbucks targets fathers with the goal of emasculating. Is this it? This is it? Wow. I have to say, I have never been a fan of the ADL.
Me neither.
Not bigly, but really, man, this is it.
Like seriously, there should have like front and center should have been the video clip of him with Inspiring Philosophy. That should have been like at the top right there. As soon as you go on there, you look at this video clip of him saying, yep, 5, she's fine. 4, totally good. 3, I don't know, as long as you're gonna have to get parental consent. 11 months, yeah, parental consent.
From center on extremism, we track extremist content. So ADL seems to have become really, really incompetent and really weak. This is the worst. This is a terrible article. Like if I see that there is an article exposing Daniel Kikichi, I would expect them to lengthily go into. I mean, I have so many things on my mind that you can bring up about Daniel Kikichi.
Hey, dude, you should message them and be like, man, this article, you just like barely touched the tip of the iceberg. Let me tell you a couple things you need to fix and add.
But what is this even? This whole LGBT part is not even stuff that is extreme. This is stuff that you see and hear every day.
Mm-hmm.
The feminist part is something you hear every day. He said that that sex slavery should be normal, that it is morally necessary. Why is that not
beating women?
The beating women is necessary. Why is that not on here?
Yeah, you might need to get a couple of clips ready and have the quotations and stuff and send them. Be like, guys, how are you missing like 90% of what makes this guy so repulsive?
I don't even understand how these guys are so nicely funded and operate when their research one-time opportunity of this guy is like the lamest article I've read in my entire life.
Yeah, don't worry about it. Hang on. Hey, Mossad. Yeah, it's your boy D Wood here. Yeah, contact the ADL. Me and AP, we got some stuff for y'all. Y'all gonna fix it. All right, peace. All right, got that taken care of.
Okay, good. Well, I guess we'll this will change soon. This is good. All right. So now that we have that sorted out, what do you think about Apostate Aladdin?
Well, he's the greatest. He's the most bestest of all.
I don't really want to talk about him, but I just came across this recommended video here by a new channel that is called Unfriendly Black Ex-Muslim Hadi.
It's not. It says Unfriendly B. Oh, okay. That was just gonna. Yeah, that would mean something.
Unfriendly Black Ex-Muslim Hadi, and I started watching, and I was like, "What is happening?" Actually, I saw this first. It said the covered lollipops are complaining. It looked a little bit harsh. So let's see what this says.
Hey, she should change her channel name to Unfriendly Black Ex-Muslim G Hadi.
Oh, that's good.
That would be better. Just add a G. Just add a G to it. G Hadi.
That's good. So I just want this to be known. After reading this article by the ADL, which we just read, I am now officially also a hater of the ADL. So far, I had no extreme opinion on the ADL. I thought, yeah, they're doing some good work here and there. Now, after reading this article, I think terrible. ADL, terrible.
You know what's weird? It reminds me. It reminds me.
Yes.
Of Israel, right? When we're talking about how they're not responding to the things they need to be responding to.
Yes. Yes.
They do a great job. They do a great job of reminding people about the hostages and that they were attacked on October 7th. But I'm sitting there actually telling their like public, their media guys, like, hey guys, do you realize what's going on social media, like on Twitter? Like everything is about how Christians can't walk down the street without people spitting on them and the Talmud, this and that. You guys never focus on responding to any of this stuff that's actually being used to rally support against you. You're focusing on the wrong. You're focusing on the wrong. I mean, you're focusing on the right stuff, but there's this other stuff that you need to be focusing on as well. And just not interested. And then here with Daniel Haqiqi was like, they focus on a couple of things that are relevant, and they're missing like a bunch of the absolute worst stuff about this guy.
Yeah, yeah. This is so stupid. This is so bad. I mean, whoever prepared this and went for the sources and all that, lazy, terrible job. Absolute idiots behind this article. Completely wasted opportunity. Could have done such a better job. Where's the video of him saying that that you can marry and have sex with a 4-year-old girl? Where's the one that says at any age you can take them as sex slaves? Man.
Yeah, and all the stuff, all the stuff about wife beating and all that, and then even the picture they take. It's like, let's get a picture of him looking kind of dopey. You get a picture with him like holding up his sword and stuff like that. Like, what? How about that? ADL. We're not fans here, but this is something that you should get right. So go ahead and let us know. We can fix your article up for you. We can fix all this stuff up for you.
You know what the problem is, ADL, and why you fail so much in today's time with the younger extreme population, especially if a neo-Nazi who already has their reservations about the ADL came and visited this article, they would go
like,
through this
hero.
And they would say, "Whoa, based, Dan, look at good based,
point, based, he's so based." Especially with all this, the conspiracy. We would think, the stuff about the insane conspiracy theories about Mossad and stuff like that. Like that's going to turn people off. Wrong. It's like 80% of Twitter is going to be on there. Whoa, this guy's our new hero.
Based.
Almost
sounds like Osama bin Laden, who's also based.
Yeah, Osama bin Laden's based. Oh, the guy with a little mustache, he's based. Everyone's so based. This guy's the king of the based right now.
If you want to actually expose somebody in today's environment, you're supposed to bring genuine, credible stuff.
Bring the fire
abundantly here to show to people of different opinions, and even as sick and messed up as they are, even they will say, "Whoa, what the hell?" Even a neo-Nazi should be sitting here and thinking, "Whoa."
Yeah, so that's the point. A neo-Nazi. If AP were preparing this article, a neo-Nazi clicks on, "What the heck? This guy thinks it's okay to bang a 3-year-old? What is? Oh my goodness, huh? Well, if he's wrong about that, what else is he wrong about? Mossad conspiracy theory. Wait, could I be wrong about those too? This guy's so obviously
I don't know
wrong.
if that's actually true. I don't think that neo-Nazis can think that far. You just thought in several different processes, and I don't think that neo-Nazis actually think past the first one. So there's
October 8th.
Alhamdulillah. So anyway, let's see what this says.
I didn't plan for this to be my.
Oh, wait a minute. Stefan the Pelton said a pause late profit hour. Yes.
Pretty rude.
Ilan Yaj became a YouTube member. Len Yaj became a YouTube member. Len Yaj. Thank you for joining the club. Atakan is a member of the club and said, "I've been an ex-Muslim for 3 years thanks to you." Nice. Thank you for your impact on my life. İyi akşamlar, iyi yayınlar. That means good evening and good streams. Thank you.
What's that, Turkish?
Yeah, fake language.
Wouldn't it be cool? Would it be cool if all Turkish people left Islam?
I don't know. Like it kind of looks like that would reduce the quality of ex-Muslims.
Oh yeah, they all became like 50% Turkish.
Yeah. Ari Wasserman says British guy marches up to a barman and demands 9 beers cold. Sneaker cries on X about how that rhymes with an Islamophobic slur.
I want 9 beers cold.
72 versions. Since AP was clearly late, David needs to say TikTok is time to rock. It's only fair. It was actually David who was late this time.
That was correct. I was recording a video for tomorrow for Easter Sunday. And so I finished at like 8:01 and then ran in here, and then I didn't have any coffee or anything. So AP told me to take my time, go chill.
YouTube censorship said 2 Zionist clowns. You are wrong. It's actually 2,000 Zionist clowns. So how about that? And also, where's the button when I need it, man? Oh, here.
Get the hell out of here!
Okay. CO said, I believe Heathen AP was rudely and viciously insulted during the live stream yesterday at hour 2, minute 53. No trigger warning. Did this happen?
Yeah, I don't know what was at that particular moment, but yes, Ehtisham was treating you very rudely. Keep this. He was calling you apis and so on.
Let's see. 2 minutes.
And since you weren't there, I just let him slide because I always let people talk trash about you.
2 hours and 53 minutes. All right, let me check that out.
Let's see. How does any of this back and forth about what happened make Islam true or discussion? We're discussing. We're discussing views.
Or the Quran, chapter 4, verse 157 can be explained. Like people say, well,
from I mean,
where is it?
What I think
he was calling you apis.
Quran chapter 4, verse 167. As a theologian, I'm just giving my 2 cents here.
Yeah, and I have to say, even though I believe the Quran is wrong, as I mentioned earlier, and as I made an entire video on, I'm not actually convinced that the Quran is wrong in 4:157 because, I mean, if you had asked me 10 years ago, I would have said that is a dumb historical blunder. Since hearing even from Muslims and looking at how different Muslim interpreters have interpreted that.
I don't hear anything here. Maybe it's just me.
Trust me on it. He called you apis.
I don't believe you.
He called you apis, I think, multiple times. So
he's the nicest guy, as it seems, out there. Why would he do that?
I was actually going to allow you on my next live stream to respond by calling Muhammad Mopus.
I would never do that.
That would even the score. That would even the score, and then because something's out of balance now, you were insulted horribly.
Why would I do something so disrespectful? Obey said there are people like Matthew Tower on X with 8.1K followers. Blue check blames the Jews for 9/11. That's what they do. That's what they do because they're stupid.
Urinating upon one another. That's what they do.
Messianic Apostle said on Daniel's conspiracy theories posted 4 in-depth tweets refuting his lies about ISIS being a CIA, Mossad, and will probably need to post more. Actually, Messianic Apostate, actually, I think you sent me or you tagged me in something that I wanted to have a look at. And I only had a very brief look. So I'm going to have a look here once again. By the way, this is a good phrase. Doesn't seem copied at all. It says you do not have to be a non-Muslim to stand against Hamas terrorism. You just need to be a human. Yep. Seems pretty good. Pretty good. Look at this. Look at people like these. Look at people like these. Here's Arsen Ostrovsky saying, this is how Shani Luke should be remembered. Young, beautiful, happy, full of life. May her memory continue to always be a blessing. And then, here, Sandwich Dan says, she won't be, though. She'll be remembered as someone who decided to attend a rave next to a concentration camp and suffered the consequences of participating in such a disgusting spectacle. They're talking about a woman who went and was having fun at a music festival and was killed in a brutal way and paraded with her dead body. And she was apparently raving next to a concentration camp. I don't have the words at the moment to describe how ridiculously stupid and idiotic this whole idea is. But it's not just stupid, it's also extremely vile and extremely dangerous and extremely messed up. Okay? Imagine justifying treating humans like that because you think they're raving next to a concentration camp. What kind of a beautiful concentration camp is that? A beautiful concentration camp where people are regularly encouraged to live and do and build and all of that, but they choose to fight instead. If it was an actual concentration camp, it would be one where they live under horrible circumstances and are being killed in masses all the time. That's not what was happening. Anyone who thinks that that is what was happening in Gaza prior to October 7 is borderline retarded. I'm sorry. Or just completely misinformed and ignorant. What kind of a stupid fantasy world are people living in where they think Gaza was actually this place where Israel was collectively genociding and putting people down like animals, killing them, making them work until they can't walk anymore, and then disposing of them. That's what was happening in concentration camps. In concentration camps and in extermination camps, they were using the overwhelmingly Jewish and other population, working them, tiring them to their deaths, and eventually getting rid of them like they're just tools, making them work and work and work, and if they're not useful, burn them or gas them or shoot them and bury them. This is what they would do. Is Israel doing anything like that to Palestinians? Has Israel been doing anything like that to Gazans? No. Gazans were working in Israel prior to October 7. Half the population was unemployed because they were getting handouts all the time from others. The living standards were better than in half the Arab world. But hey, apparently, yeah, you can just say she was having fun next to a concentration camp, therefore she deserved to be killed and possibly raped. Well, not sure if you want to keep that up when the same thing happens to your family. Look at this beautiful concentration camp, by the way. You see?
That's exactly what Auschwitz looked like, man.
Yeah.
Auschwitz was the exact same thing.
This woman was recently, this woman has been complaining about deaths recently. Her brother was killed, apparently, in an airstrike or something. So she says. She's with the press there. Press there means just independent person who reports and walks around with Hamas. And she was living a very, very nice life in a concentration camp. This is directly from Gaza. You're supposed to trust that living a very comfortable life, as it seems here, forced them to go out and act like absolute savages and treat other human beings, Israelis, like they were bugs. That's apparently what people think. Anyway, I was going to look for Messianic Apostate's tweet. Let's see. I might look at that sometime. I'll get back to that, Messianic Apostate. I'll get back to it. Nick said, was Norman Finkelstein the one who sent Sheikh Uthman the note to stop doing dawah? That makes sense.
No, they're on the same side of things.
No, that makes sense. It was like, you are too loud. I am trying to read a book. Ari Wasserman, Pilich's favorite restaurant, Aisha's Sweet Talmudic Tunnel. See, it's things like these that make Apostate Aladdin very angry. Anyway,
hey, that's how someone could get Daniel to drink alcohol. Just take him to Aisha Bar. Remember Aisha Bar?
Yes, I put it on the thumbnail. Did you see?
Hey, Daniel. Hey, Daniel. You want to go have a rum and Coke? No, I'm boycotting Coke, and I don't drink rum. But the bar's called Aisha. Oh, then I'll have give me a double.
Man, oh man, oh man. What? Who said Daniel is live? Why would Daniel be live? Primus versus Unicorn said, AP, please debate Syrian Girl.
On what planet is Syrian Girl ever going to debate? But I haven't even heard your response. But I strongly suspect, ladies and gentlemen, in fact, I can go ahead and say it. If anyone wants to contact Syrian Girl and say, we really want to see you debate the apostate prophet and get her to agree, I am pretty confident that AP would take that debate in a heartbeat.
Definitely. I offered it to her directly on Twitter as well, but she then and we were going back and forth. And I said, "How about debate me on this? Debate me on this." And then she disappeared. That's what she does.
She said, "How about no?"
Yeah, that's what they do. She said,
"How about no?"
Yeah. Daniel Islife is talking about Muslim-Jewish dialogue on anti-Semitism, the Messiah, Israel. Huh. Interesting.
Good.
So the ADL has really focused on Elon Musk and his
Hey, what's up,
advertisers,
Bozo?
Twitter advertisers. So to go from that,
it's David.
First video, but I got so annoyed seeing Apostate Aladdin's 20-minute bitch fest that I had to.
I'm not entirely sure about the content of this video. Let's just go through it.
Well, I'm glad we're not watching this on my Good Christian channel.
Yeah, so this is unfriendly black ex-Muslim hottie.
It'd be funny if you complain about anything she says, like, which part of unfriendly wasn't clear?
It's funny, the choice of words for the name of the channel, because there's friendly ex-Muslim, and she's like unfriendly.
Yeah, that's funny. Friendly ex-Muslim.
To hop on here and give my 2 cents. I was so disgusted by what I saw. How dare you use your platform to admonish and tone police another ex-Muslim? You have no right to tell someone how they should express themselves and what tone of voice to do it in.
To be fair, he actually does.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like, I mean, following that reasoning, why are you rebuking him for that if no one has a right to tell other people how to go about their
hey,
their
stop attacking the ex-Muslim here, David.
Yeah, so what we can say is he has a right to share his views with you, and we have a right to tell him that he's being a complete moron when he does so.
Yeah, that's true.
All. That man lost an aunt to gun violence enacted in the name of religion. He has a right to his anger and sarcasm. You don't get to tell him how to deliver his message. Get off your high horse. Something I've noticed about Apostate Aladdin is that he is nowhere near done deconstructing his faith. He is very much still a Muslim Arab supremacist at heart. The fact that you're even coming to the rescue of Hamas in Palestine speaks volumes to the headspace that you're still operating in. It's very much still us versus them for you. I can tell you have not done the work. It's embarrassing to see you position yourself as this holier than thou spokesperson for all ex-Muslims.
That's precisely the right description, actually.
Yeah.
Just those few words there. I'm glad that she's taking us through the universe here.
You don't speak for the majority.
As everyone knows, the real way to win the hearts of Muslims is to be as soft and gentle and weak as possible.
Yes.
And if you do that, if you start off all your videos with 50 trigger warnings and telling them that you don't under any circumstances want to hurt their feelings, their hearts will melt and they will reach out to embrace you. I've seen this 0 times, but that's how things work in my head. And meanwhile, the apostate prophet, David Wood, these kinds of guys who just come in guns blazing at Muhammad for years, and they see endless people leaving Islam. They're doing it wrong. They're doing it wrong. Trust me. Trust me. You have nothing to base this on. You have no evidence that what I'm saying is true, but just take my word for it. Take my word for everything.
The thing
because
is,
I'm a narcissist.
It's so pretentious, that whole attitude of, we as ex-Muslims and as public speakers and influencers, we should be acting like this and should do this and should do that and should talk like this and shouldn't do this.
Yeah, there's no set way you're supposed to respond.
Shut up, man.
Yeah. Yeah. Apostate Aladdin, if you have an approach that you like and a way of acting that you like, do that. We don't care. You didn't see us going after you. Oh, Apostate Aladdin, he's so weak. He just sits around moaning and wailing and whining on his channel all the time. Oh,
when somebody talks like that, it just looks like
you have to talk like us.
It's terrible. It's desperate. It's stupid. Okay. I say, hey, we are different. We have different personalities, different approaches. And you have your own way. Go that way. But stop preaching about how we should be acting. Who are you?
Stop acting like your voice is the most important one simply because you spread your message in a mousy, meek tone.
Just because you speak your message, just because you speak your truth in an effeminate,
your truth,
crybaby, sniveling, wimpy little way, doesn't mean you should tell everyone else to be a little sissy boy. It's just funny the way she talks.
Oh man, oh man, oh man.
You are not better than anything. You should honestly be ashamed. That's all the time I'm going to waste on you. Going forward, I will be posting videos geared towards a Black female audience. I have a lot of gripes as a Black woman who was raised in this faith. There's a lot I want to say because Black women of all people should not be following this absurd anti-Black doctrine. Stay tuned and thanks for watching.
Yeah, and it doesn't sound like she's going to take the apostate Aladdin approach when she's responding to stuff. It sounds like she's just gonna brutally expose stuff.
Okay. Well, I'm very excited as a Black ex-Muslim woman.
Hey, hey, since she's new and only has 3 videos and 59 subscribers, you might want to watch a minute or two of some of these other videos so people can get a gist here.
Is one of the
That's what I was just going to do. Stop acting like you gave me the idea.
I just gave you the idea. Don't act like you came up with the idea that I mean, can you imagine this? I give you an idea and then you say, "Oh yeah, what a great idea."
I've noticed that.
Oh, I actually came up with that idea before you said it. Come on, dude.
Do a lot of complaining.
This video is titled "The Covered Lollipops Are Complaining."
That's veiled Muslim women.
Yeah, that's on the channel Unfriendly Black Ex-Muslim Hottie. Somebody put it in the chat actually. That would be quite good. Here, I put it in the chat right now. Okay.
About the way men treat them.
All right, you guys, can we talk about this really bizarre idea that Muslim wives, Muslim women are supposed to be robots? Like, where did that come from? I need someone to break this down for me. Where did it come from that to be a good Muslim wife, I have to be robotic? Barely have.
It came from the Quran.
Yeah, the Quran and the Hadith. Sorry.
Any personality, and this is the definition of modesty. If we're defining ourselves,
by the way, little side note, AP. Does this woman look like someone who is beautifying herself?
Yes.
Yeah, she definitely looks like someone who's beautifying herself. So, listen, dear, I advise you to not get within 1,000 miles of Daniel Hakikachu.
Yeah, because you're causing literal pain.
You're causing literal pain to every Daniel Hakikachu-like man on the planet.
Literally.
Society says we are, who will we be when it's all gone? So this idea that you're supposed to relinquish all and be completely a shell of a person in order to be a modest Muslim woman, that gotta go. That we gotta dead that. Okay?
We gotta get rid of Islam. I agree.
So nonsensical to me because every single thing she whined about in that clip is baseless when juxtaposed with the prescribed treatment for women in Islam. She broods over the fact that there is an expectation for her to be nothing outside of a wife and mother. Well, duh. That's what your role is in this faith, your only role. You're simply here to be a quiet, obedient little covered lollipop and to birth the next set of Allah's slaves. Now, the part that really irked me in her video was when she lamented.
Yeah, so this is, for those who didn't get it initially, this is what the reference is to of the covered lollipops, an example of how precious and important hijab is. This is a woman without hijab, see? All the ants over it, and this is one with hijab. See, no ants, because that's how it works, because women are just lollipops.
But by the way, look at that girl. Look at that picture. Does that look like someone who's beautifying herself for others to see? Yeah, definitely looks like that.
Would you prefer an unwrapped candy or wrapped? You are not an unwrapped candy. Sorry, you are not a wrapped candy. You are a badly wrapped candy.
You're a partly wrapped candy. You're like a lollipop that's half unwrapped.
Yeah, it was somebody tore the wrapper and left it like that. That's
ants would be all like ants are going to be all over you, girl.
Yes, they're going to come for you.
Now,
watch out for the ants.
Part that
Empire
really
of the
irked
ants.
me in her video was when she lamented that in order to be a good and
So anyway, it seems like good stuff. Covered lollipops are complaining. Channel name is Unfriendly Black Ex-Muslim Hottie. So if you are interested, go follow. If not, then just go watch PewDiePie.
Maybe we should use channel names like that.
I know.
Like sexy former atheist sexy beast.
Hey, here is one of the friends of Dan Lekikachu. And they kind of
you can't ignore the channel name.
I know that's what initially drew my attention. These Nuts News.
That is one constant. Yes. Everyone else on the planet can disagree about literally everything, but every single person on the planet finds D's nuts hilarious. Every person. I've never seen a person who didn't start giggling when something is called D's nuts.
D's nuts are hilarious. It is. So it says ISIS takes responsibility of terrorist attacks on Russia. Have you ever wondered why ISIS consistently targets enemies of the US and not its allies? Wonder no more. It's not really that deep, although David's made a good explanation on that recently on his live stream about ISIS, about the attack in Moscow. And I have been informed that he either will clip that part or make a video on that as well, because it was pretty good. However, this account then presents this here as evidence, which says, captured ISIS Libya commander Abu Hafs turns out to be Benjamin Ephraim, an Israeli national operating in one of Mossad's special units.
Powerful stuff. So you see,
does this look authentic?
ISIS is Mossad. Well, dude, it's got a screenshot. So it's got a screenshot. It comes from a channel that sounds smart, Intelligentsia. And it's got two different spellings. You got @Intelligentsia with a Y, and then you got Intelligentsia with an I. So I don't know how you're possibly going to disagree with this, AP. It's like,
and this is not just something that goes around that some random people post. It is also shared by people like Jake Shields, Jackson Hinkle, Syrian Girl. I don't know if Dan Lekikachu shared it before, but people share this. Oh yeah, here. Look at this. Look at this. Here it is. Jake Shields sharing this, and it gets 61,000 likes.
Say that.
61,000 likes. 2.5 million views.
That's what happens when you're powerfully sharing the truth.
And he says, I saw this headline and figured it must be fake. It must be fake. But sure enough, it turned out it's true.
It must be true.
So Israel was funding ISIS, giving them weapons, and even in leading their operation. Even with friends like Israel, who needs enemies? I asked Jake an interesting question here. He claims that he saw this headline and thought it must be fake, but then it turned out true.
Then Jake Shields did some investigation. He got his team of researchers to fact check this story. And it turns out that it was entirely true.
So I said, here's another example of Jake Shields sharing blatant fake news. This news story is a hoax and leads to no credible source. But somehow he checked and concluded that it's true. Just don't ask him how he verified that.
Yeah, well, look, I saw this tweet by Intelligentsia. Actually, I didn't even see it on Intelligentsia. I saw that, D's Nuts News shared it. And after D's Nuts News shared it, then, I read it and I thought, well, this can't be true. Then I read it again and I said, wow, this is true.
He then replied to me actually and said multiple news sources reported it. You just refuse to believe anything bad about Israel. I then said, give me one reputable, credible source. Link, please. And of course,
which part of D's Nuts News was not credible to you?
Let's see. I'm always trying to be careful when I scroll through Twitter.
Yeah, you don't know what kind of creepy stuff is going to be on there.
But here, you see, I just scrolled through the replies. Nobody actually linked to a credible news source. They came up with different things, unrelated. IDFG finally acknowledges that Israel supplied weapons to Syrian rebels.
Yeah, you see?
Syrian rebels, not ISIS, Syrian rebels. Does it?
You see? So Israel supplied weapons to Syrian rebels. You see? This proves that Mossad is pulling the strings on ISIS.
And look at what the article even says. Last September, Foreign Policy magazine reported that Israel had covertly provided arms and funds to at least 12 Syrian rebel groups in order to prevent Iran-backed forces and Islamic State jihadists from setting up shop along the border. The article here is saying that they were helping rebel groups against ISIS. And this guy here is giving this link or giving this news story as evidence that they are working with ISIS.
By the way, that's another thing that I've seen on Twitter. Like someone can say anything, and then you say, prove that, and they will insert anything that has nothing to do with it, and they will just put a screenshot here and you think, well, that has nothing to do with anything I'm saying. But their fans will like it like you've just been refuted. It's just a weird situation where everyone just likes whatever the guy on their side is saying, even if it's complete idiotic nonsense.
That's exactly what the Dawa guys do, isn't it? They make videos and they don't say anything useful in the videos, but just the mere fact that they made videos is then used as proof that they debunked the Islamophobes. This guy sent a screenshot of an article, which I looked up. It goes to Mint Press News, I believe, which is a fake news website, which also doesn't have links. It says here, look, I've actually found it right here. I found it right here. According to a report from the Israeli website Inyan Markazi, you click on it, and page not found. Great. Abna News Agency. Let's see. You click on it, page not found.
Powerful stuff. I don't know how anyone could argue with this powerful information.
Then it says Middle East Monitor reported. Oh, very, very credible source.
Yeah.
Terrible source, but let's see. You click on it, not found.
Jake Shields would be like, I now rest my airtight case.
So I actually sat down and looked into this for an hour or so to find the earliest mentions, to see where the image goes back to see where the words, to look for the earliest mention of the names, of the name Benjamin Ephraim or Ephraim Benjamin, and Abu Hafs, as this guy's name is supposed to be. The earliest mention is in on August 26th, 2017, and comes from some Libyan website that is pro-Gaddafi, and the civil war was all about taking Gaddafi down. And just that just posts fake news to boost the Gaddafi perspective. That's what it is. And the photo leads back to a website that has ever since been deleted. That's it. It's a hoax. It is 100% a hoax. But these guys are sharing this. And I wonder if Daniel Geekichu also shared it at this point. But this is what we're talking about. This is how stupid people are. I believe at this point that humanity in general is just doomed. Look at this. This tweet by Jake Shields with this hoax has 61,000 likes. My refutation, not my refutation, but my asking how he actually concluded this has 800. His response, which again repeats the lie that multiple news sources reported, it has 500 likes, and so on. This is what we're dealing with. It's a hoax.
It's not
a credible source. It's a hoax, but people just believe anything, and 61,000 will like it, no matter what you say.
It's a version of the 99-1 rule that you can say it, and the vast majority are not going to question what you're saying. If they regard it as something that is supporting their views, they're just going to mindlessly agree with it. And if one or two people realize that something is completely wrong or that this is false, well, so what? You just duped thousands and thousands of people. So you won. You accomplished your mission.
Who cares? Yeah. Who cares? All right. Let me take these super chats. Abu Bakr said, Happy Easter, David. David, Happy Easter. Christ is risen. Peace, joy, AP. Thank you much. Very much appreciated. Keeper Pilot said, only 38% of Americans approve of Israel's war in Gaza. Super low percentage. Spread your dawah. Subhanallah. Well, it doesn't really matter who approves and disapproves of it.
Yeah. There is going to be an issue of
nobody cares.
People being angry at Israel afterwards, but I do not think any of this is going to stop them from completely wiping out Hamas permanently.
It's not going to stop them. It's not going to stop them.
It is interesting, the mentality, though. Like everyone else in the world's like, okay, we have to pay attention to what everyone thinks about us. And Israel, no, we're going to destroy Hamas and get whatever hostages are alive. We're going to get them back, and then we'll worry about what people think about it.
Nobody has a say in what Israel can and can't do after October 7. It doesn't really matter who approves or disapproves of it, no matter how good of an ally any country or any nation is. You're supposed to be an ally to support in different ways, not to tell your ally how to behave in a certain situation like that. This is worse than 9/11 for Israel.
Way worse.
Don't question, don't dictate how they're going to respond to it and how they're going to solve this problem. Carmen Gibbs says, shedding a light on this Red Heifer conspiracy. I still don't have any idea about this.
No.
What this is about.
Yeah, I don't know.
Steve McLovin says Christianity has VeggieTales, Islam doesn't. That's true.
That would be a funny comparison, showing some clips from VeggieTales and showing some clips from Palestinian children's television.
That's good. That's good. Michael Beacon says, I've been debating with faux Christian atheists all day. Who bought? And I thought communists were dumb. Romans 11, people, it's right there. What does Romans 11 say, David? Can you recite it from memory like a good Muslim?
No.
Then what is it all about?
No one knows. It's a great mystery.
I say then God has not rejected his people, has he? Far from it, for I too am an Israelite, a descendant of Abraham, of the tribe of Benjamin. God has not rejected his people whom he foreknew. Or do you not know what the scripture says in the passage about Elijah, how he pleads with God against Israel? Oh, it's not really. Okay, it is long. Okay. Yeah.
Interesting stuff.
I recently joined a space on on Twitter with IP Inspiring Philosophy and Kat, who was the one who organized it, Kat Canada. It was very, very good. We talked about the Groypers and the recent trend with these Christian LARPers trying to use Christian talking points to demonize Jews. And as an outsider, I can firmly say that those people are less Christian than I am. Ari Wasserman says, can you prove that Piduchu isn't a Jew since his name rhymes with Pikachu? No, I can't prove it.
No idea how to do that.
Andrei Brishnev says, he's risen hope for us all. Thanks for the stream, AP and David Wood. Indeed. Thank you, David, for the stream. Emishka said, calling him Daniel Pikachu is literally committing genocide against the cutest Pokemon species.
That's true.
Is the thing in Hebrew, the article.
Just
That's
imagine
what it's called.
Just imagine if a
The
Pikachu. Just imagine if a Pikachu came along in the chat and had to listen to you calling him Daniel Pikachu. Imagine how that would make him.
Goat Hub says here at the best site on the web, Islamophobes aren't the only thing being exposed. Knows too much says, meanwhile, Palestinists actually celebrated 9/11. The reports and footage of their celebration can still be found on YouTube. Fox and even CNN covered it. That is true. It's true. It's what they do. Abu Bakr Al-Puff Daddy said, you see that video of British woman on bus eating lunch? I saw it. She was harassed. I saw it. Zane gifted 5 memberships. Okay, I'm getting really weak at the moment. I think I'm getting really sick or something. I don't know if it's because I'm sick or if it's because I'm getting sick.
You're sick.
You're sick. You are sick.
It's very hard to
you can always
chats.
You can always scroll through and pick out any super relevant super chats and then call it a day and go to sleep.
I don't know why I'm getting sick again. Actually, the last time I got sick was...
I know exactly why you're getting sick.
Probably a year ago or so.
Ali Dawa's prayers.
Oh, that's true. Already was someone said Palestinians are too poor to afford nail guns. Review reports by Carolyn Glick. I can see which one specifically. John Empire Power made a super sticker. Thank you so much. Please stop perpetuating Matrix lies against Top D. I can't help it, man. John Empire Power. Artie Wasserman. Pikachu proves that Pearly was right, that nobody can talk about the Jews on YouTube. Hey guys, I play NHL 4 and PlayStation 5 and named my player Without Lies Islam Dies and got banned for a week because some Muslim was butthurt.
That's funny.
Oh man. Speak the Truth said, are you behind the Shake It Off cartoons? New jihad video was very informative. We are all in trouble if people don't wake up to Islam's final goal. Nope. But the person behind them is part of this chat, part of this community, and is here occasionally. It's a very good channel. Check it out. Check it out. Shake It Off cartoons. I forgot what it's actually called, but it's the Tales of Shake It Off or something like that. Artie Wasserman said Epstein's Mossad mission for Israel: blackmail powerful perverts into making the Western media and political classes as anti-Semitic as possible. This is also, I do think it could be that the Jews are trying to make everyone think that the Jews are the bad guys. Right? It makes sense, right? That it's so. This is my theory. My theory is that the Jews are actually manipulating the world in order to make everyone think that Jews are the bad guys. And it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, these are actually connected to some of the other Jewish conspiracies. Like I'm told repeatedly that the Jews are the ones who are driving so many Muslim immigrants into Western nations in order to take over those nations. I've heard that over and over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
Jews are the ones who are causing who are behind mass Muslim immigration to Western nations because Jews want to destroy those countries. So the brilliant plan of the Israeli government is to destroy all their allies and have everything entirely conquered by Muslims who want to destroy Israel.
Yeah,
that's their plan.
We have all these Western allies, these Western nations. How about we do this? We organize this great plan to flood them with those people who want to destroy us and exterminate and kill us all, and cause them to take over all those powerful countries, so that those people who want to kill us all can become powerful and then eventually kill us all. This is a genius idea.
Little side note, the channel is called The Adventures of Shake It Off. Adventures of Shake It Off. This guy goes on various research adventures.
Marta M said, Marta M said, check the link I sent. I'll see. I'll have a look at it. Rax Youngins said, is it true Momo allowed another man to kiss his belly?
Yeah, this dude was smooching him all over the. You know what's funny is when you share.
It doesn't say belly though. It says
kissing him all up. He lifted up his shirt and the guy was smooching him all over. But
so we don't know what exactly he kissed.
Yeah, you know what's funny? What's funny though is like Muslims will instantly defend this and say, "What? There's nothing wrong with lifting and pulling your shirt up so a guy can smooch you all over your body. What's wrong with that?" It's like, okay, then. Muhammad Hijab shouldn't have a problem with smooching up and down Ali Dawa's side, right? Like smooching Ali Dawa all over his body. Serious? Like, guys, you think that there's no problem with that, right? Just like the sucking the tongues of little boys. Oh, totally normal, totally no. Okay, then you have no problem sucking on the tongues of little boys, right?
Sucking on the tongues of little boys. But we don't have any information as to what specifically the kissing was restricted to. Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Could have been kissing his testicles. We don't know.
I was gonna say legs. Why would you say testicles?
I don't know.
Very disrespectful. Alex L says pretending Gaza was the equivalent of a Nazi death camp before 10/7 is Holocaust denial for leftists. That makes sense. Pretty much. Christ is King. Muhammad is not, said Alejandro Sudiro. Alhamdulillah. Chantal Kohanzad says, I love you guys. How do we make you guys bigger? How can I help? I don't think that I'm way past the age of growing.
You can send us a bunch of like cards for free dinners at like Cheesecake Factory and stuff like that. We get bigger.
Oh yeah, that would be nice. Then we would be forced to go to the cheese factory. And
Cheesecake Factory, man, not cheese. Who's going to go to a cheese factory? Well, I'd go there too. What's wrong with you?
I have it by my Cheesecake Factory, but I said cheese factory. And I really like eating cheese, especially the ones with chocolate on them. So that's my favorite kind of cheese that I eat at the cheese factory. Issa, hey Issa, what's up? Said, how y'all doing? Ramadan Mubarak, happy holy week. Thank you, appreciate it.
Hey, what's up, Issa?
What's up, Issa? Don't eat too much cheese on Ramadan. Infinite Oneness said, Lollipop has makeup done too. That's true. That's true. Avi Genuth said, I noticed in the recent The Jews did Moscow attack conspiracy stuff that the Muslim cowboy said the Jews did it. I appreciate them acknowledging their Jew hatred and not blaming the Zionists. That is true. They are now openly, quite often, saying Jews instead of just restricting it to Zionists.
And you know what the funny part here is?
No.
So you post stuff on the internet, and that's kind of that stuff's forever, ladies and gentlemen. That stuff's forever. Israel looks like Israel's going to keep going until Hamas is destroyed, and then they will probably maintain control of Gaza unless other nations come up with a decent plan for taking over that responsibility, and then people will rebuild Gaza. And the anger of many will subside once Israel has actually like crushed Hamas and people have seen, oh, okay, that actually did something important for the world. But all these insane tweets of all these guys like Jake Shields and so on going on month after month after month, Jews did this, Jews did that. That stuff is there to stay, ladies and gentlemen. And it's going to come up in the future.
Alhamdulillah. Messianic Apostle said, check your DMs, AP. No. Logan, may God bless you guys. I love your continent. Thank you. I love my continent too. Happy Easter, said Juju B. Thank you. Happy Easter to you. Logan Price, God bless you guys. Love your continent. Thank you pretty much. FP Read 21, 2006, destroyed churches in West Bank, Gaza, silence. Yeah, pretty much. Somebody with a name said, amazing how Americans condemn bigotry but jihad. Yeah. Ordro says, David Wood, can you expand on Methodist Christianity and concepts of social justice in Christianity, Mandela, Martin Luther King, compared to Islamic, Malcolm X, woke, etc.? Yeah, David can probably make a video about that tomorrow.
Yeah, I'll have that up tomorrow.
Okay, let's see. There you go. Junger Katholik says, what could a group of young German Catholics do to impress, surprise you guys regarding the topic of Islam? What would get you guys excited?
You mean double excited?
Zabuba, no, something that does not contain, I don't know. What could get people excited?
Basically the same stuff as our classic videos, but in German.
Yes.
Where everything is like dialed up to like like that sort of thing. Because it just sounds tougher. English is on the sort of stronger end of languages, but like barely, whereas German is like on the really, really strong language end of things.
I would be very excited to see a video of Hitler preaching Islam to the public. I don't know. I honestly don't know
some videos along those lines made by Germans, just really talking about Hitler's meetings with the Grand Mufti of Jerusalem and what they were plotting and so on.
I would
very
like to
helpful.
see more content and that kind of stuff. Yeah.
And it's actually very relevant to things that are going on right now, because it's part of the reasoning. It's part of the reasoning why Jews needed a spot of land that they controlled. There were other people who wanted to exterminate them. You can't put them under the control of people who wanted to exterminate them.
Beautiful, beautiful. Talmudic Tunnel Construction said Hitler ASMR. How does it even work?
Das war ein Befehl!
But yeah, no, that would be nice to highlight some more stuff on how on precisely that, the whole topic of Mufti Amin al-Husseini and Hitler is something that needs more attention. Raisin bread. Oh yeah. Anyway, I click it away. Doesn't matter. Raisin Bread said, please do regular weekly live streams if possible. You guys will cause many Muslims to leave Islam if you do that. Hey, we should do regular weekly live streams.
Dude, like maybe like every Saturday and Sunday we'll do a live stream.
Hey, how about Saturdays on my channel, Sundays on your channel?
That could work. That could work. We'll think about it. And also maybe some random additional live streams throughout the week, possibly.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that sounds like
that's it. Thank you. Thank you, Raisin Bread. It's a good idea. We'll think about it. We'll consider it.
We'll put this to work. Thank you, Raisin Bread. I will make a note on that and let Mossad know to change the schedule accordingly. Thank you. Sankey said, have you seen the Taliban said they'll bring back stoning to death? Oh yeah, I saw. I always knew they were Mossad agents and not real Muslims. I saw news on Taliban saying that they will bring back stoning for women for adultery.
Based,
which is very based. This is how you see that humanity is making progress and development.
Based.
And the Islamic Republic of Afghanistan just came up with a new development. If this was a video game, this would be like a new achievement. Ari Wasserman said, Dawa master debaters never drink grape juice or soda since they boycott the G because the Jews put it there. Free grapes. Yeah, this is true. This is kind of smart. Ness Ivan said, I love how some of those jokes are very stupid, but then there's more to it. Ness Ivan said, my mother is Christian, my father a secular Jew. I am as goy as any of you in chat by Jew law. I never experienced Talmudic discrimination in Israel. Stop lying. Stop lying. Stop lying. They hunt people in the streets who are not proper Talmudic. At least that's what Darren said.
Yeah, they beat them up.
Alex L, we're living in an age of mass stupidity. Keep shining light in the darkness, bros. I'm not a darkness bro, but yes, I will keep shining light if I want to. If not, I'm just gonna sit there and I don't know. Aaron aka Matt says, Aaron aka Matt says, being a Muslim at the airport must be a pain. Imagine losing your only son Jihad there and having to yell for him. Now you have bigger problems.
I had kind of a, I've mentioned this before, but I had an issue. This was back at the height of jihad when there were terrorist attacks all over the place. But I was in the airport and I was heading to the UK for a debate on jihad, and I had my carry-on suitcase there sitting in there. I have my carry-on, and I've got a Quran, and I've got an article on jihad sitting on there. And then someone calls me, and I start talking on the phone, but I don't want people around me to hear. So I start wandering off to walk around and stuff. And I didn't realize, because I'm talking on the phone, they're like, whose bag is this? Whose bag is this? And then I see people scattering from my bag as as the agents are coming in. I'm like, oh crap! And I run over. Hey, that's my stuff. Sorry, it's my stuff. But yeah, so he had a suitcase with Quran and article on jihad on it. Was a red flag for some people.
That's pretty good. That's good stuff, man. So always, if you are going on a flight, take something that has the words jihad on it with you, as David just described. Striker A says, in case you aren't streaming tomorrow, or since it is in Jerusalem, happy Easter. Oh, thank you so much.
Yeah, we're not sure whether AP will be sick tomorrow.
Me?
You're sick. You're sick.
Audio someone said Dizzle is slipperier than the oceans of spit dripping off of him from just peeing his head into the
peeping his head into the
Jewish quarter.
That's what happened. Looked over there and everyone instantly started spitting.
Oh yeah. I remember that. Yeah. I remember that. Samuel John, I'm having a crisis of faith. What's the truth? Well, what is truth anyway? And what is what? And what is the?
Hey, Samuel John, check out my video on my channel tomorrow.
Don't check it out.
Atheists will be humiliated.
Don't check it out, please. Don't check it out.
All non-Christians will be humiliated tomorrow.
Hey, no exaggeration. There was a thing by Jordan Peterson when he was asked about God. What do you mean by God? And he was like, what do you mean by what? What do you mean by do? What do you mean by you?
Well, the question, did that happen, begs the question, what do you mean by happen? Because when you are dealing with fundamental realities and you pose a question, you have to understand that the reality of the concepts of your question, when you're digging that deep, are just as questionable as what you're questioning. You know, so people say to me, do you believe in God? And I think, okay, there's a couple of mysteries in that question. What do you mean do? What do you mean you? What do you mean believe? And what do you mean God? And you say as the questioner, well, we already know what all those things mean, except belief in God. And I think, no, if we're going to get down to the fundamental brass tacks, we don't really know what any of those things mean.
That's a bit much, man.
It all depends on what your definition of is.
Oh, man. And what do you mean by what?
It's what do you mean?
What do you mean by definition? What is your definition of definition? Chloe. Hey, what's up, Chloe? Chloe says, I am all fine. Just being careful with money alone. Thus less super chats, no funny poems, etc. Busy at work, so not much time to make skit songs. Australia. Well, it's good that you're doing well, Chloe. It's good that you're doing well.
And don't send any super chats to this channel. There are plenty of them.
Yeah, why would you send a super chat here with $7.99?
Yeah, don't send any of that stuff. Or if you do, make it like $1.99 or something like that.
Yeah.
If you're trying to get a message read.
Yeah. Or make it $79.90. Which you shouldn't do. Gwyneth Isaacs said, "Here I am, living in a rundown house in North Central Victoria, Australia, and I count myself lucky to be living in a rundown house, while that lying propagandist lives in a sweet place in Gaza." That's true.
Yeah, I have to say, I can imagine that it can be crowded in places in Gaza and stuff. But yeah, I mean, I grew up in a West Virginia trailer park, and when I see some of the videos of Gaza, I don't know. I'm kind of like, it's definitely better than where I grew up, like massively better than where I grew up. So it never crossed my mind. It never crossed my mind that living in a trailer park was basically like, worse than living in a concentration camp. But anyway, here we are.
Yeah, I wish I had grown up in Gaza. I mean, at least I would have had a good childhood and a good neighborhood, good house.
You would have gotten to watch good children's shows.
Good children's shows. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Shame.
Do you imagine weeping? I mean, you get your you get your bowl of Fruit Loops to watch your morning show, and then you see Farfour die, crying your eyes out for the next 6 weeks.
Yeah,
because
I watched.
What?
Because I watched Pokemon and Dragon Ball. I could have grown up with Farfour to at least add something of value to myself.
Yeah, I watched G.I. Joe and Transformers, He-Man a little bit, but yeah, Palestinian children's TV would have given me a little edge in life.
Free Palestine. Junger Katholik said, "What could..."
You already read that 9 times.
I want to read it again because it says Junger Katholik and it's German, so that's why I like German stuff. Or Dro
How many times are you going to read this same one?
Moo Jew says, "Happy Easter, David Wood." Moo Joe. AP. Feel better and wishing you a happy International Transgender Day of Visibility.
Oh yeah, did you hear of that? That's what tomorrow is?
I did hear about that.
You're pretty funny.
Very stupid conversation. Earlier, my wife said, "Oh, tomorrow is happy International Transgender Day of Visibility," and I didn't hear what she said. And I said, "Did you say Day of Disability?" she started laughing. Then she sent me what she really said, and oh, okay, yeah, pretty stupid. Jake Edwardson said David Wood was 9/11 terrorists. This super chat is saying that you are a terrorist on 9/11. What do you have to say about this?
Yeah, I'd go with the explanation of the terrorists. I tend to go with the simplest, most obvious explanation. We've talked about the conspiracies. So, the conspiracy route would be, oh, but look, here's this thing that doesn't. Guys, any big event, you're always going to be able to zoom in. Oh, but that doesn't make sense. And then, because there's something that you don't get or has not been explained to you, you then say, therefore, this massively more improbable and insane conspiracy theory must be true. And it's just sloppy thinking. So anyway, we got jihadis hijacking a plane, then flying giant planes into buildings, and buildings collapse. You say, David, what is the best explanation for that? I say, I don't know, terrorists hijacking planes and flying them into buildings? No, it was the Jews. Because look, there's some Jews who are dancing in this video. You see, this is the proof. Or look, how did this building fall down? You see, it must be the U.S. government. You could say anything. You'd say it was aliens, right?
Well, I once saw a video of a building being demolished in Israel in order to build something in its place. Isn't this enough evidence to show that 9/11 was actually done by Israel? Pretty sure it is. What else do you expect?
Mm-hmm.
That would be my response to that. Aftershave said, just tuned in. Any word on Kikachu versus some guy David debate? Regular, weekly, yes. Consider Saturday is Sabbath. Friday is a prep day. Draw your own conclusion. Yeah, we should think about a weekly live stream. That sounds like a good idea.
I do like that idea. We'll have to really put some serious thought into it.
I don't know. It's kind of lame, but we could do it. We could do it, I guess.
A lot of work.
Thank you. Yeah, I saw that Kikachu had a debate with some guy who's supposedly Jewish but also practices Hinduism or something like that, which people were confused about. I don't know. I never heard of the guy. Don't know what happened. Yunagat Catholic said, if we gathered infos about Amin al-Husseini and other Islam Nazi-related topics from German archives, can we send them to you? We live close to the archives. I would love it. I would love it. But I would also love your inclusion and participation in whatever we produce with it. Very, very much. In fact, I would like Germans to actually do something on that and put a video together to inform Germans on this kind of stuff. Andrea became a YouTube member. Hey, thank you for joining the cult. Together we will take over the world and plunge it into the darkness that it belongs. Owen Robertson made a super chat and said, ever think of working with Lloyd de Jong's deep dive into Nazi and jihad connection? Better yet, uncanny connection to the early KKK and their handbook, the Quran. This looks like this is again Lloyd de Jong making a super chat to promote himself through a fake account. I'm not falling for it. Yeah, maybe we should connect. Could be. The Sahimas Chris said, what do you mean, see? What do you mean, you see? Peace be upon me, AP, David Wood, happy Easter to you both. Hope next Easter AP will celebrate as Christian. David Wood, you are doing great job with IP. God bless you and your wife, Mary. Love.
Oh, it's capital J, so that's Job.
Oh, great job. Sorry for misreading this. PBU me. Thank you for that. Chloe, despite being asked not to make another super chat, made another super chat here and says, cheaper comment, Hitler had deep talking voice ASMR. Oh yeah.
Yeah,
that's true.
I saw his nice talking voice in that movie Downfall.
No, I actually listened to a recording of where there was a secret recording which was done when he went to Norway, I believe. And they were under the impression that the device is not recording any longer, but it still was. And you can hear Hitler speak about how
it's called a hot mic.
Situation is not very. He was talking about how the situation is not very good, and things like that. I don't know. That's very, very funny. Baleda Rasmar said, "When it shake your booty and shake these nuts." I don't know who shake these nuts. I don't know that guy. There's only one sheikh.
No, we already had my other character. That's Imam al-Safat.
That's true.
Imam al-Safat.
They found nanothermite in the rubble of the World Trade Center and tons of molten iron. Jet fuel doesn't melt steel. How would you respond to that?
By not being stupid. You don't need to melt steel. You need to warm up steel. When you warm it up, it weakens. And when you have a giant building on top of weakened steel, what happens?
It's actually as simple as that. There was a report.
There was a video by a metal worker, and he says, "Guys, you think you're talking about melting steel? I'm gonna heat this up." And he starts bending a steel bar, and he goes, "Look, it's like a noodle. It's like a noodle, guys. It becomes like a noodle when I heated it up."
But there was also a report. I forgot what it was called, but it was after a few years, or what is it? Was it the same year or the next year? With a bunch of experts coming together, who published a very long and very detailed report on the events of 9/11, confirming the narrative. People who know probably know what I'm talking about. I don't remember what it was called.
And the thermite, the amount of thermite they would have needed, they would have been been having to pack the walls day after day after day with this stuff. When gosh, there's all these people in there just while they're going in there and packing the walls with thermite. Anyway, that's the point, ladies and gentlemen. But I saw Rosie O'Donnell say that for the building to come down, jet fuel would have to completely melt steel to liquid. It doesn't burn hot enough to melt it, turn it into liquid, so this doesn't make sense. It's the U.S. government. Come on, dude. Watch. You're gonna get like 50. You're gonna get like 50 more super chats from this. This is all we need to do, right? Just come on here, have a show about conspiracy theories, and then just start making fun of the conspiracy theories, and watch these guys just like start throwing super chats at you.
Alhamdulillah. Oh yeah, okay. It was called what was it? The 9/11 Commission report, the final report of the National Commission.
Oh, you see, it's funded by Mossad.
That's what it was called, by independent, bipartisan experts. I don't know how many were involved, but yeah, you can find that there. It responds to a lot of the stuff and confirms it. David Steele. Whoa, look. Speaking of steel, who's stronger, David Wood or David Steele? You see. Hey, David, what do you think about this challenge? What's stronger, David Wood or David Steele? You see. Became a YouTube member. Hey, what's up? Welcome to the channel. Welcome to the club. Thank you. Legimathigayon made a super chat of $50. Thank you very, very much. And said, more Daily Wire in Alidawa voice. No more David Wood in Alidawa voice and AP in Mossab Hassan Youssef voice. I laughed so hard when David Wood said Jake Shields sent his team of expert researchers to fact check this claim. That guy is such a clown. Unfortunately, I can't do any voices right now because I'm dead.
It is. It does really suck that you can have an idiot, like a moron, who just hates Jews. And hey, here's a cool opportunity to go ahead and say it because now you can get away with it. And people will buy any idiotic thing he says, knowing that this guy's an idiot. Like, I mean, keep in mind, even his fans, do his fans think this guy's smart? Like, seriously, do they really think he's a smart guy and a great researcher?
Yes. Probably if you're very stupid, it's probably very compelling to listen to somebody like Jake Shields. This is the whole problem with this whole trend, with this whole idea of, oh, don't believe everything the media says. Don't believe the media. They're trying to brainwash you. They're trying to fool you. So doubt everything the media says. Okay, you know what? It is probably reasonable to say, yes, if you were to follow whatever the media says blindly, which is a very strange world anyway, a very strange reality. But if you were to follow anything or everything the media says blindly and took it all for a fact, that will probably be very stupid. Human is not supposed to function like that. You're supposed to look at the information and then verify the information and research for yourself. Fact check the things that you read if you care about them so much. But does it really mean whatever the media says, you should assume that it is wrong? You should disagree with it. Whatever the mainstream idea is probably wrong. You should disagree with it. That is stupid. You are basically doing the opposite of what you are supposedly discovering and warning against. Supposedly, you think the media, the mainstream media, all these powers are there to brainwash everyone, and you will just be a contrarian and go against all of it the entire time. You will just end up brainwashing yourself with the dumbest stuff out there. And in case of the media, it is actually, despite often being led by corporations that have a lot of corruption going on and that serve different interests, they are actually sources that have proper sources and can you know, can be fact checked and have good fact check tracking records. If you are going to reject them on everything and go with what some random idiot says on Twitter, then you are essentially trusting somebody who claims to be an independent thinker, but doesn't do anything. Doesn't do any of the research, doesn't do any of the thinking. That's what you end up with. You have somebody like Jake Shields or Jackson Hinkle or Daniel Kikachu even now, or Syrian Girl, these nut jobs, or Suleiman Ahmed, these nutcases say, oh, you can't trust anything the media says. Whatever the media says, they're lying. Everything they say is a lie. You can't trust them on anything. No, trust us instead. Trust me instead, because we are for the people. And then you would actually trust these people who don't do a single minute of research on anything that they spew, who just repeat things that sound cool, that sound based, that sound skeptic, and that is just ridiculously stupid. Oh, the irony. Okay, David, stop talking so much. I'm tired.
Stop talking. Go to sleep, dude.
Anything else?
No, we will. You can message me tomorrow and tell me if you're feeling better.
Jake Edwardson said, I don't know what I think. I just want your response to these assertions. Molten iron at the bottom of the rubble doesn't make sense. Love you both. It makes it's just a perfect. It makes the perfect sense.
You see, I saw molten iron in the article. You see, there's the U.S. government and Mossad. And like, dude, come on. Doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't make sense.
I would just I have different recommendations for this. I would like to offer some sources at some point. Robert Carlyle says, people who think there's an organized Jewish cabal controlling the government has never sat at a table with them at a Chinese restaurant. It's chaos.
That was kind of our reaction in Israel, because we were in the rooms with security guys showing video footage and stuff, and we're kind of we were underwhelmed by how brilliant the tacticians they are. we were underwhelmed. Awesome place, awesome trip, but if you think they're like these just total masterminds controlling the world and so on, they didn't seem like the world controlling mastermind types. Let's put it that way.
My impression was in Israel, people are very, very bright. However, very disorganized, extremely disorganized, always changing plans, never sticking to the schedule, always late, almost always, but somehow always getting things done because flexible, jumping in, very considerate of each other. And so if somebody's like, oh, hey, I'm late, it's okay. It's all right. I'm late too. Always functioning like that. But it is a Jewish thing it is a Jewish internal stereotype that is not a stereotype for no reason, that Jews always disagree with each other all the time. So this is something that Jews will say, like, the most Jewish thing about us is that we even disagree on this. They will have a small topic and they will start, I think this, no, not this, that, no, not this, that, no, that, no, this, and they will continue arguing about that forever. That's basically what the Talmud is, by the way. So just arguing about things eternally. Somebody recently made a joke about people say, oh, that was Avi Yemini. He posted, they say Jews control the world and we can't even control Rabbi Shmuley. Which was a good point.
That's true. That's a good point.
That was a good point. Anyway, thanks everyone. Have a fantastic day. And as always,
lose faith. I tell you, lose faith. It's better for you.
In other words, stay away from the thing.
Stay away from Islam.
See y'all.